When it comes to a relationship, love the person that love you. The older you get, the wiser you should become. When it comes to getting into a relationship, it's not about settling. It's about loving the person that loves you, not for who you love. You're going to get this as I continue to expound and not explain to you. When it comes to relationship, my people, you got to be wise and love the person that loves you for who you are, not for what you have. It is not about you being the man, tall, dark, and handsome. It's not about you being the woman, you find as wine or a brick house. It's not about you being the man, you're wealthy. It's not about you being a woman, you have gotten your PhD and got this big mansion uh, on the hill. I can go on and on and on. I emphasize and love the person that loved you, not who you love. You have to have wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with you having some of those possessions, but you don't want nobody to gravitate and want to latch onto you or leech onto you for what you have, because all those are bonuses and they're temporary. You don't want, if you lose those things, for that person to walk away from you. Let me give you a little story. It's about this particular guy, well, two particular guys. They went to college together. One was very successful. He graduated and he became the owner of a Fortune 500 company. And one, being his best friend, he did not graduate and he kind of went from job to job, was not very successful. So these two men, they had different lifestyles. One, the successful one lived on the north side of town, and the unsuccessful one lived on the south side of town. The one that owned this Fortune 500 company, he normally would go in the company and no one really knew who he was. Not none of the employees. He just looked like a plain man, and he just walked in to observe how the people were treating his customers, which he was well pleased. So this one particular day, he went in and he noticed that the board had hired this one particular lady to run the company, and she did not know who he was. So he observed how she come out of her office and go talk to the customer, and not one customer left that company without a smile on his or her face, which really was intriguing to this particular guy. So he would go by there every now and then. So he started up a conversation with this young lady, and he asked her, "Do she want to go out to dinner?" And of course, she said yes. But what she did not know is that he was the owner of the company. So he had this brilliant idea. So he talked to his friend, his best friend that lived on the south side of town. And he wanted the lady to like him for who he was, not for what he really was about or what he possessed. So it was kind of like trading places, okay? So he told the guy he could go stay in this a big mansion on the north side of town, and he would stay in this little challenging house on the south side of town. And he also used this guy Flintstone car. You know the Flintstone car that when you look at the Flintstone, they run, so the car had holes in it. So he pulled up. The woman walked out and she looked at the car and she went ahead and got in. And he went and had lunch with her, and it was pleasant. He took her back to work, and they were seeing one another, on a regular basis, right? So she told her girlfriends about it, and one day her girlfriend decided to come outside and see this particular wonderful guy. And when they seen the type of car this man was driving and the type of clothes he had on, they pulled their friend to the side and said, this is the wrong type of guy. He don't fit us. He don't fit us. So she said, but he's a nice guy. So she did not even listen to the lady. So as time went on, she spent more and more time with this guy, and she started growing in love with the guy. So one day, the guy said, I want to take you to where I'm currently staying. So he took her to his friend's house where he was staying on the Challenger side of town on the south side. It was not the best neighborhood, but she went in and she watched a little TV with him. He took her back to the company that he owned and dropped her off. She got in her car and she left. She was still growing in love with the man. So one day, this man told his friend, it's time for me to really show her who I am. So this one day he picked the young lady up and he went to the north side of town into this immaculate neighborhood, and she was wondering who stay in the neighborhood. So he walked up to he parked the car. He had a key to the house. He opened the key, and his friend came out from the south side of town. They shook hands, and his friend from the south side of town went home. So he took the lady into this immaculate home and was showing her all the art pieces and everything. And she was wondering, how does he know the layout of this home so well? And he finally told her who he was, that he owned the company that she worked at, and she was really stunned. She couldn't believe it. So eventually she believed it, and she asked him, why did you not reveal who you really were? And he said, because I really liked it how you treated the customer, and you seemed like a virtuous woman. So I'm looking for a virtuous woman. As a matter of fact, the time we spent communicating, I started growing in love with you. And so tears just started running down her eyes and his eyes. Okay. And so she agreed to continue to stay with the guy. And eventually he married this wonderful woman. So what am I saying? This man, he wanted to know whether or not this woman was going to love him for who he is, not for what he have. Always remember this, people. Love the person that loves you, not who you quote unquote love, okay? Remember this. Believe this. And let me tell you one more thing. As it is written in the book of 1 Samuel 16:7, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord see not as man see. Man look on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. So the bottom line, look at the person heart, not at the personal appearance, and you need to ask God to show you the person heart. Now, remember this, believe this, say la vie, and amen.